Hello, and welcome to Champion Your Culture, the podcast where we dive deep into the heart of leadership and organizational culture. I'm Ryan McCarty.
And I'm George Rogers. Together, we're here to guide you on a journey of personal and professional growth. Every week, we bring you insights, stories, and strategies to help you and your company thrive in today's dynamic world.
So whether you're leading a team, running a business, or just eager to make a positive impact, you are in the right place. Let's jump right into today's show and champion a culture of purpose and passion. Welcome to Champion Your Culture. So what's going on, man? It's a happy Monday.
I want to see something because we've been a year and a half into this, and I just wanted to make sure there's audio.
Yeah.
No, but we got audio.
Are we live?
We are live, baby.
Oh, hey, live, all the way live.
All the way live.
What's up, everybody out there? Thank you for joining us.
The north side of Indianapolis, home of the 2024 All-Star.
Yeah. Hey,
town.
Big shout out to everybody coming in town. Bring extra tires with you. We've got surprises.
So as we kick it off welcome everybody again to Champion Your Culture, the podcast, powered by Culture Good.
Yeah.
Hey, listen, as we start this kick it off, we always kind of collab and have a conversation, but I think we need to have a serious conversation real quick.
Mm-hmm.
For all those people who are going to be coming and visiting, some people are already arriving. The Super Bowl ended yesterday.
Yeah.
So people are packing up from the Super Bowl, and then this week coming into
downtown Indy. Yeah, Naptown.
Home of St. Elmo's famous cocktail shrimp.
Yeah, you have to definitely get the shrimp if you're in town.
Home of potholes.
Yes. Yeah. No pot, only potholes.
So you got potholes, pot.
Yeah. They've regulated the pot, but they ain't figured out how to regulate the potholes. I'm like, what is going on, man?
So that's funny. So one of the things you're gonna have to move your camera on your computer to you. Just to show your face a little bit. Because the camera has gone crazy.
Oh, okay.
All right. So we got the old school camera.
Okay, so let me do this right here, and I'll jump on this way.
Yeah, you be looking fine. It's still a side view, but one of the things our camera tech is not here today, and the camera connection has been.
It's all good. It's all good. We're here.
So we'll switch up different views for everybody here today. With the good old technology.
It's all good.
Hey, listen,
it's always funny because when we do the show live, it's you and me.
It's the two of us.
Just the two of us.
I should bring somebody to join us.
Yeah.
I mean, if anybody's out there wants to help. But anyway, if you're coming into town for the All-Star weekend, it's going to be a blast.
Really, all this week there's events happening all around the city. Very excited about that.
Yeah. Turns out, Super Bowl last night.
I'm not sure what you think about the win, the loss. I really didn't care much about who. I kind of thought the 49ers might pull it out, but I did know that if Mahomes had the ball at the end of the game,
it's clutch.
Yeah, I mean,
it's over.
He was for sure. So
yeah, it's a challenging point. And I'll just say stand by because you never know what's going to happen. But the challenge with that is that I think of Mahomes he's that one guy everybody wants on their team. We saw that, right? In the golden era, there's a transition that's going on with football. Mahomes, Josh Allen, CJ Stroud is in the conversation. Where you got these Lamar Jackson, you got these guys that are beasts. And you want the ball in their hand. In the last 20 years prior to that, we were talking about Tom Brady. Obviously, was the leader of the class with Peyton Manning. You had Drew Brees and Aaron Rodgers.
I'm throwing back to Brett Favre.
And then before that, because Brett Favre passed the torch to Aaron Rodgers.
Right.
You had your Brett Favres. You had your John Elways.
Yeah.
The Colts
Joe
had
Montana.
Joe Montana. He had that 3-year period with the comeback kids and the Colts with Jim Harbaugh.
Yeah, of course,
Jimmy Boy.
Jim was great, man.
Yeah, he was all right.
I mean, well,
he was the comeback. They call him the comeback kid.
We've always seemed to have. We've always
had
some kind of quarterback situation going on here in Indianapolis. But
there's always a situation.
But anyway, listen, it's going to be a great week. And shout out to my wife, Qatar. She's one of the finalists.
Yep.
There's 9 finalists left for the NBA Foundation.
Okay.
So there's an all-star weekend. There's a pitch competition for Indiana-based Black and brown owned businesses that specifically are tech and innovation. And so Qatar has an app called Exhale, and a wonderful team of developers and counselors and psychologists and so forth. So there's a really good chance that she might win something this week. So fingers crossed.
Yeah, there's a first prize 75 grand, second prize 50, third prize 25 grand. I'm saying, look, she's winning.
Show me the money.
Show her the money. She's putting a lot of work. A lot of work.
The Excel app. We need to have our own because there's 2.0. The last time it was original. So we need to have our own, man, the next month because the 2.0 app is a step above. There's a lot more things that have been added to it. The team, the marketing team has done an incredible job. Shout out to them. Follow them on social media, on all platforms. You can follow them as well. Connect with Qatar McCarty on LinkedIn if you're there for the people on the platform. And we can all that in the chat as well. So, shout out to that. That's cool, man. That's cool. I feel like your family's like on this roller coaster of positive vibes. So it's hard to connect.
I know.
Then maybe you.
I'm done.
It's a cycle. You got one daughter that's. I've been in the airport like 4 times in the last 3 weeks.
Yeah.
And so Amber, me and my wife went on vacation for a few days, and she's like, "Are you gonna videotape this every time you come through the airport, back and forth?" And I was like, Yep. 100%. I'm gonna do it every freaking time because there's different chill vibe music that I'm feeling. I put the different vibe to the stereo.
For those that don't know, my daughter Brenna has a large art installation in the Indianapolis airport. Really cool. Yeah, it's called Blue Skies. If you happen to go through there and see over 200 blue spheres hanging from the main the main corridor where everybody comes in and out.
Escalators and so if you're leaving the airport, you're going down the escalators to back plane. You'll see it above your head. If you're coming in, you just got dropped off, you're walking right past it. It's almost, depending on how short you are, you have to look up 10 feet, maybe 20 feet. Depends on your size, but it's right there.
It is.
Right by, I believe it's Delta.
Yeah,
and American Airlines somewhere in between those two.
American Airlines.
It's right there in the middle of that. So as you're going through, you'll see it. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Close your eyes and look up,
man.
And you'll see blue skies.
So on the topic of sports, kind of, and work. So the Super Bowl was last night, and you were talking about how many people were planning on calling off today.
So UKG, shout out to UKG, great people over there, great team as well. And they had an interesting thing that kind of caught my attention last night about, it was a previous post, so it wasn't necessarily last night's post, but they had a post about the amount of people who are going to call off. Over 16 million people. 16 million.
Over 16 million were calling off.
Will call off today
because of the Super Bowl.
Because of the Super Bowl. So they're saying today that 16 million people are going to call off, and the reason why they're going to call off is because they are going to experience. They're going to experience the Super Bowl flu.
Okay.
Also known as a Super Bowl hangover, also known as I either ate, drank, or don't want to do too much on Monday.
Yeah.
Or I guess the other one is my team lost and or won, so I want to celebrate a little bit extra.
Yeah.
For a lot of people, there's a little extracurricular activity on drinkage.
Oh, because every time Taylor Swift came on, there was a shot.
There was a shot.
There was a
you had to eat.
Yeah.
You had to do something. There's like 6 different things you had to do. If they mentioned her, you had to do this, right? And so some people, we mixed it up a little bit because not everybody drinks. And so we did like a spice. Like nobody likes to eat a lot of hot stuff. Some people do. I'll say that.
Yeah.
But there's not like that. That's something everybody can do. So we had some different spices. You kind of just take one to the head. So it was interesting. We mixed it up just because not everybody likes to drink.
We just went down to the dugout, man.
Dugout was good vibe.
I didn't watch the whole game down there, but that's our local dive bar down in Fletcher Place.
Yeah.
People think that's Fountain Square. That's not Fountain Square.
A lot of people don't like that.
They need to catch
Fletcher
up
Place,
with it. Yo,
Fletcher Place don't like that mix up. You got to get it right.
You got to get it right. We are not Fountain Square.
Yeah, it's two different places.
But the dugout's a cool place. So if you're coming into
the
town,
Fletcher Place is the suburb of Fountain Square area.
Right. Well, Fountain Square is like the.
Are y'all trying to get your own little mayor? Would you be the mayor? I mean, there's only what?
I don't want to be the mayor.
150 of you over there.
I want to be the mayor of my patio. That's my kingdom.
You get some interesting visitors on the patio if you're not paying attention tonight too.
Yeah, when you live downtown, there's all kinds of new friends that are met every once in a while.
Oh wow, that's great.
But listen, we've got a really cool show today. I'm excited about our topic. It really hones in on what we talk about at Culture of Good all the time. If we were still preaching something, this is what we're preaching. We're preaching purpose.
Mm-hmm.
We're preaching leadership.
Yep.
We're preaching culture.
Yep.
Right. When you put so if you think about, like, I made peanut butter cookies and chocolate chips, right? And so you got butter, you got peanut butter, you got your chocolate chips. You could throw some oatmeal in there, different things to kind of mix it up. But when you think about what comes out of that combination, culture, you mix culture with leadership, and you mix leadership with purpose.
Yeah.
That's what we're talking about today.
Yeah.
What's the outcome? Or, you open up that oven. What is that sense that you get that you're about to tear that up? You know what I'm saying? It's like, I'm about to eat this cake or these cookies. You know what I'm saying? Like, what's the flavor that comes out of that kind of mixture?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's the outcomes that people desire. We've been talking about this all year to kick off this year, is the perfect-ish culture. Like, what is that? What is that soft? And it depends on a lot of people, right? Some people like their cookies crunchy.
Yeah.
And some people like them soft and chewy. I'm a soft and chewy. I'm a gooey, cuddle-ish type of soft.
You like your cookies like you like your emotions.
Yeah, soft. Soft and squishy.
Soft and squishy.
Soft and squishy. That's my emotion. Is that I like my emotions soft and squishy. I'm a soft guy, but that's empathy, that's compassion. Because I've seen a lot of things. I was thinking about this, and a lot of this conversation was driven by one of our 5 promises, driving business, and being data driven with that as well. And when I was thinking about, in a conversation I was having somebody on vacation, they asked me what I was doing. We're sitting at the pool and we're talking, tequila talking, and sharing all these different things.
Yeah.
And it was like, man, I love what I do. I feel like my place is great. I don't want to leave. They had no desire to leave.
Yeah.
Felt like it was a place of belonging. Felt like they're connected to their leadership was cool. They actually cared about people.
Yeah.
But there was sometimes this disconnect, right? And so knowing your people, knowing your ingredients and how you like it, right? If you want crunchy cookie, but George wants a soft cookie, there's going to be some a pullout of the oven where you're like, all right, this is for George, or we're going to put it on a totally different tray, right? To know that, hey, at 15 minutes, this is George's tray. 25 minutes, this is Ryan's tray, so on and so forth. With this conversation I was describing with this couple, is that everybody is different.
Yeah.
Just like they were getting married there. They were staying for 2 weeks and getting married. They asked me to stay and marry them. And I was like, I'm out of the budget. For weddings and funerals, it costs too much for me to do those. Right. And but how I described it is the calls that we have.
Yeah.
Right. Through our 2-day certification coming up here at the end of the month. One of the things that we talk about in the very beginning is creating the calls. What is your calls? What is that why? What is that connection? Because we can talk about driving the business, and at the end of the day, employees and employers understand the purpose of business.
Yeah.
Is to make money. Yeah. We understand that, but how do you go beyond driving the business with purpose?
Yeah.
And so we were talking about those things, and we were talking about some key elements, and I asked them what's important to them when working with a company. Well, as we've seen with research over the last 2-3 years, well-being and development has been like that kiss.
Yeah.
They want to know that they're taken care of, not just financially, but physically and emotionally, mentally, that people care for them, that they have time to care for themselves.
Yeah.
And also grow and develop to be that man or woman personally and professionally.
Yeah.
That was a key part of that. And so the heartbeat behind all of that was really tied to how do we finish it?
Mm-hmm.
How do we finish it? I think you got to know, and I said it earlier, I ain't gonna say it again, so I'm gonna rephrase it. I think you got to know your employees,
Yeah,
the temperature and the time.
yeah, and what's and you know, to your point too, it's like for me when you're talking about that, as far as like what types of cookies and stuff, my brain goes to everybody. Everybody has a different taste for different things.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like
Yep.
I'm a ranch guy. I'm not a blue cheese guy.
Same.
I don't like blue cheese at all. There's something about it that my mouth says you should not be eating this. You know what I'm saying? There's just some.
I have trust issues with people who like blue cheese crumble.
Yeah, I don't do
And
any
blue
of that.
cheese.
I don't do any of that. And that's the thing. It's like everybody has a different flavor. So that's one of the problems that we run into when we're having this conversation, because when we talk about culture, the moment I start talking about culture and healthy culture and vibrant culture and engaging culture, I'm doing so through my own taste of culture.
Right.
So when someone hears me talk about what I believe to be a healthy, vibrant culture, it might look a little bit different for someone else who does want less connection in a sense.
Yeah.
They don't want to, their collaboration isn't maybe one of their strong points, and they like to run solo.
Yeah.
And their work experience is actually for them, they deem it even worse if they have to get in a group and work together.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I'm not suggesting one's right or one's wrong. I'm just saying, like, sometimes when we're talking about what is a good culture, we're talking about it through our lens,
Right.
through our perspective.
Yep.
And really we have to understand that culture is good when it aligns with your values and your passion and your heart and your purpose.
Right.
When we think about how do we drive the business with purpose, well, how else do we drive the business?
Yeah.
You know, we can drive the business through micromanagement. We can drive the business through all sorts of different catalysts. But when we think about how purpose drives business, specifically as a case study, when we look at TCC, the cellular connection, and when we launched Culture of Good, what we found was that the business grew in profit as the people grew in purpose.
Mm.
So
That's good.
literally, as people engage and grow in purpose, the business grows in profit.
Mm-hmm.
That's what happened. There was more than a correlation. It was a causation. The growth of people knowing what their purpose was at work, what the purpose of work was.
Yeah.
What the purpose of the company was, the vision that was very clear and it was articulated. It was compelling. It was moving. People wanted to be a part of it. That's what a cause is. When you're talking about identifying your cause, we're not talking about like, well, we help pets, animals.
Yeah.
Well, great. You know?
Yeah.
All right. Talk to you later.
Yeah.
No, what's the compelling reason?
Right.
Give me the most compelling reason for me to want to work for you, to continue to work for you,
Yeah.
to want to tell my friends about you.
Yeah.
What's the most compelling reason that you can give me that I want to do business with you? That's what the differentiator in business goes beyond just like your products are really good and your service is spectacular.
Yeah.
What makes you different is you have a purpose.
Yeah.
That's the fingerprint of your business. That's the heartbeat of, and the essence and the soul of your company.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So let's dive into this, because I want to hit, we've done really good over the last couple of weeks. We're hitting three points.
Yeah.
So let's dive into this and really give, a lot of people have been excited. Some of the feedback we got is, man, I'm loving the content that you're giving, been able to keep it simple with these notes. And so for those people who are driving, if you want to pull over, that's been a natural comment we've been getting. We need to shout those people out on there as well. But when it comes to empowering leaders to drive business, not with profit, but with purpose. Number one, cultivating a purpose-driven culture. This is what we talk about. This is our passion behind championing your culture. When we talk about this, we're talking about encouraging leaders, creating and fostering this thing, not just talking about it, but living this lifestyle in leadership, not just HR leaders. We're talking about CEOs, CFOs. We're talking about the team, right? From leadership team, from top all the way down to your frontline people, and creating this atmosphere and culture to where it's something that's more than communicated. Right. It's something that is lived. It's something that they see more than just vision that's written on the wall. Right. When we say, culture of good, what's the heartbeat behind culture of good? One of the taglines you'll always hear, whether it's in our workshops or in our keynote, is this right here: bring your soul to work. What does that mean? Right. We talk about that, what it means to bring your soul to work. And so creating that compelling vision where it makes sense to somebody. What's the soul? What is that soul to work? When you're talking about soul food, it creates conversation, right? The soul of your heart, the heartbeat, the vision, the purpose behind those organizations to help people understand the importance of aligning the business with goals, the business goals with the company's values and mission, their purpose. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Well, I think to start with, I don't know that a lot of companies know what their purpose is. So that's the start of the conversation. I don't know that companies really know what it means to have values. I think there's a lot of companies that have vision, values, and mission
because it's part of the book that they got that says we need.
Don't know why they have those things. They're not aligned with the business goals. They're not the motivator that they should be. Like when you hear a vision, a leader is a one who casts vision, and people that hear that vision, that are compelled to be a part of it, then become the followers of that leader. When we think about a company in a leadership position, when a company casts its vision out, when people hear it, are they compelled to follow and be a part, in a sense, of that? Because companies have the opportunity to engage with people intrinsically, with who they are internally. Like a vision should compel. If it's a really solid, true vision, it's more than just we want to help our customers have a better experience buying products. Wah, wah. It's like, okay, great. But a vision that changes the world, a vision that has impact. When we talk about a culture of good and a culture that's purpose driven, it has a purpose because it has a why. There's a reason it exists. What is the most compelling reason? If you're listening to this, what's the most compelling reason that you can give me as to why your business exists? Because when we talk about the first rule of business is what? To stay in business. Because if you don't stay in business, there are no other rules. But the second part of that rule is to know why you're in business in the first place. That's purpose. So when we talk about purpose, vision, values, mission, all the things that make up what we would say are the components, or what I call the language of culture. When we talk about the language of culture, our mottos, right? Every movement has a motto, has a statement, has something that people want to get behind. And so when we're talking about a purpose-driven culture, we're talking about a purpose that most people feel, believe, and behave most of the time. If you don't have a purpose that most people are feeling, believing, and behaving most of the time, you do not have a purpose-driven culture. You might have some purpose in your company, but in terms of a purpose-driven culture, the culture is where everybody's feeling it. When you go to work, you feel this sense of purpose. When you're with your team, the team they understand the goals of the business and how they align with that purpose, with the vision of the organization, with the vision that the leadership has. That's what I'm connected with. That's what I'm engaged with. That's where I get fulfillment from, is that I know collectively I'm a part of something bigger than myself, right? No matter how shitty life is, man, I can go to work and I can discover a sense of purpose in my life. That feels good, man. It feels good to care about each other and to do the good things that are the soft and squishy stuff. Because our soul is that way. But it's also powerful, because it does drive the business. To your point, that's one of our values, right?
Yeah.
Our promise is like, we're going to drive the business to greater success.
Yeah. I think of it in the sense, and we talked a little bit sports. We're always talking sports, whether it's here or the dugout. But I think of it in such a way as a player on the team, that's gifted and talented. And let's use basketball as all-star, preparation. You take a guy that is skill set obviously is good enough. He's on the team. He's in the NBA, right? But doesn't really know the purpose of what he's there to fulfill. Right, he's a shooter. He can dribble if need be. He can be a defender. But what is my distinct role where I can bring value? Right. When we talk about the purpose, it's how do we connect that value-driven purpose, right? That they understand my value to this team, not a value of the company, not the purpose and those things that your promises that we call, but value in a way of talent.
Yeah.
What is my skill set that I can connect to this greater purpose? The purpose of our team is to win the championship.
Sure.
That's the goal.
Yeah.
Our purpose is then how we get to that ultimate goal, right? So if the business's goal is to make money, the purpose should be driving us there. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, absolutely.
And so how do I connect my skill?
Right.
How do I take my talents?
Yeah.
Right. We talk about the 4 T's.
Yeah.
Time, treasure, talent, testimony.
Yep.
How do I take my talent and connect it to the purpose?
Yeah.
Where I am feeling a sense of, I belong.
Yeah.
I'm on this team. I'm not just on this team collecting 1.2 million as the 12th man. Like, I'm the 12th man, but hey, I may not see the court unless we're blowing somebody out, but you don't get to see what I actually bring to the team behind closed doors.
That's
right?
That
Preparation
piece that you're talking about too, because you were bringing it up a couple weeks ago that the move from just people wanting development, which we're going to get into, to wanting recognition.
Yeah.
Because I think during the pandemic, we kind of got separated and lost in a sense, and people are wanting, I used to talk about it years ago. I heard a leader tell me that, everybody's walking around with a sign around their neck, like a necklace that says, "Tell me I'm important."
Yeah.
Like, tell me I matter. To what you're talking about, we're wanting to know that our contribution has meaning. Yeah. I'll give more above and beyond if I know that my contribution is recognized, that it's appreciated, that it's seen, is what you're talking about, that I'm seen.
Yeah.
That when we're talking about mixing leadership with culture with purpose, that's what comes out of that.
Right.
It's a culture of recognition. It's a culture of trust. It's all the stuff that we're talking about, right? Purpose is that driver, though. It's like, at the end of the day, what are we doing here and why are we doing it?
Yeah.
What are we doing here and why are we doing it? And recognizing as leaders that we have the profound opportunity to connect to people, team members, to each other, colleagues, peers, and to be able to say, this is why you're important.
Yeah.
How do we do that? By saying thank you.
Yeah.
For what you did Tuesday, right? Thank you for going above and beyond. Then all of a sudden, it's like it's starting to create this understanding that we're collectively working together towards something, but people need that recognition.
That's so true.
Yeah.
So true. So we have that purpose-driven culture, creating that drive, understanding what it means. We can go into depth and details about that, because I think that breaks off into many things. As we were saying, the purpose of that, discovering the purpose, understanding your purpose and your values, and having it align with everything that you're doing. Then we talk about, number 2, the investment, right? I always say inspect what you expect, right? And part of that inspection is, what are we investing into our people? Because we're sure as a business, and I'm talking to our employers now, and to myself as a leader and the former business owner, I understand I'm expecting something in return. There's a ROI if I hire you,
sure,
right? But you also are expecting something in return as well.
Yeah.
And so when we come to investing in employees, one of those ROIs employees are asking for and seeking. And I think it's an equal balance. I think employers are desiring healthy people, because now they're seeing, man, a healthy person, healthy man or woman, right?
Yeah.
And does have some
well, what is an
effects.
unhealthy employee?
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah.
Correct.
Sure.
And there's certain industries that have been able to get around unhealthy employees where they're able to and hire anybody, plug and play.
Yeah.
But man, we hope we can just plug and play and hit a home run every once in a while versus saying, hey, why don't we just develop and get healthy people? We're saying here, invest in employees' well-being and development, even if they're not healthy coming in, and give them health, right?
Yeah.
Provide health opportunities. What does that look like for them? What does it look like to create a healthy environment? No, you're not a hospital. We're not saying, hey, change your format and become a hospital to these people. But in a sense, you got to be hospitable.
Well, and providing the resources like we've talked about, at the end of the day, it's one thing to say, this is the purpose of our business and this is the vision, this is the values, but we don't value you.
Yeah.
See what I'm saying? Like, why do you share as a business if you don't value people? And this is the problem, because when we talk about leadership, we're talking about leading human beings. Yeah. We're not talking about leading a business.
Yeah.
We manage businesses, we lead people. And so when we think about what it really requires of us to lead, we're looking at investing in someone and seeing their potential. I know you bring up all the time, like it's Christmas morning.
Yeah.
When you meet someone, because you're looking at this person and saying, what's inside of that person? Like, what is the potential there?
Yeah.
And as you work with someone, you see greater potential, right? You get to know them more. And as a part of that too, is we're investing in people, we're investing through a myriad of different things. We could be investing through workshops, through one-off trainings, through development. We talk about the difference between training and development. Training being a series of videos that you might watch for 6 weeks, but development is like, I'm investing in someone long-term.
Yeah.
And when we do that, what I believe it does is it creates a culture, it fosters a culture where people see themselves there long-term, whether they're there long-term or not. When I start talking to you about the next 12 months, what does that do? That doesn't mean that you're guaranteed a job for the next 12 months, but what that does is that lets you see yourself working and see yourself being developed and see yourself growing as a human being over the next 12 months. And that's really what we're saying, is like, you can't just talk about your values as a business until you start valuing the people that work for you.
Yeah. True.
If they don't feel valued, you could talk about vision, values, purpose. It's all BS.
Yeah.
People see right past
something
it.
that they don't have too. I think that's the part of the development side that employers are learning is that, man, I'm expecting everybody to be the person they're replacing, or that person that's an A-lister. And you got to develop those things. Some people come with experience, and I always take it as in. I had an interesting reminder of myself, is that when I think about people expecting certain things from me, part of me wants to say, listen, you got to go all the way to the old George. Like, you're expecting all these crazy things, but where does that come from? And how do we get another George? Well, you got to go ask my first employer that hired me and ask what they got. Because the George I am today is not the George I was even 5 years ago. There's been development along that line. And I say that to say, some people can only give what they received.
Yeah.
And if they have not received leadership, good leadership,
if you've not experienced it,
you know what I'm saying? Like, if you've not, if all you've heard all your life is a parent or an adult verbally abusive, you don't know what it's like to be appreciated in a sense. I don't know. And so you say, it's hard for me to connect. I love to connect with people. And I say it because, man, I love to connect with people. I genuinely do. And I feel like, man, why don't I connect? Why aren't they receiving this like encouragement and recognition? They're not used to it. So how do you connect to the person who's not used to receiving recognition? You got to learn that language, and that communication is the factor, connecting with them where you can. And I go back to the F3 feel, felt, found so often in leadership when I'm coaching people, is that you got to find a connection. There's a connection to all of us. And it's different.
Yeah.
Some people are 2-pronged, some people are 3-pronged. And I think of all the different adapters. Some people are USB-Cs, some people are USBs, some people are battery.
Yeah.
You got to figure out, charge them up however you can. But there's a connection.
Yeah.
There's a connection. How do you connect is the challenge. Finding out how to connect with Ryan can be difficult for many people, right? But for me, I understand. I've learned how to connect. Right?
Well, and that's the idea, right? Is like when we hire someone, we want to hire a finished product, but every time you hire someone, you're hiring raw material.
Yeah.
And that's what we have to get into, that understanding that we're hiring raw material, not finished products.
Yeah.
And that speaks of opportunity. That speaks of what could be the potential with this individual in this workplace. But if we don't already have a culture of purpose that's purpose driven, then we don't have leaders that think that way. And so when we hire someone, to your point, that's raw material, sometimes they don't make it because we have expectations that they're going to be more finished than what they are.
Yeah.
And it's like your resume is like glamour shots, man. Like the old JC Penney's. It's all faded and looks all, those glamour shots look horrible today, but back in the day, you'd see somebody's glamour shot and then you meet them and you're like, that ain't the same. Or like,
I mean, it's like the food stuff. Like, the food on TV never looks like the food.
Nah, it's like getting,
you ask for a sandwich.
Hiring someone today is like getting catfished, man.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
It's like, is this the same person that was? Is this the same?
Good analogy.
Resume?
I like that. I like that. I'm gonna hit the save button on that one because that just made the list. That just made it. That was perfect because I think about that and it's true, man. I just go back to the food. I see a good steak or a cheeseburger, and I'm thinking, man, the lettuce looks a lot less, appetizing on that salad than it did when I was watching the commercial. Or I saw the picture. I'm looking at the coupon I'm bringing in for my food.
Yeah,
I'm like, this ain't online, and it looks a lot smaller.
Yeah, and that's kind of what it is. We live in a world where we have to put our best foot forward.
Yeah.
But then as we start to get to know people, we have to understand, and we have to also understand that people want growth. People want development. It's not like people are coming into work saying, I want to stay in the skill set I'm at.
Yeah.
And potentially there could be employees like that, but most people want to learn.
Yeah.
Most people want to grow. Most people aren't done learning in life, and they understand, like, if I'm going to excel in life, I have to get better and I have to grow.
Yeah.
And so when we create these opportunities for people, specifically not in the development of just skills, but also in the development of their well-being.
Yeah.
That's really powerful because that says, not only do I care about you, I'm caring for you.
Yeah.
And I can't care for someone unless I care about them. And that's why when employees don't feel cared for, when they don't have these resources, they know right away they're not cared about.
Yeah. So it's important, number 2, in investing in your employees' well-being and development and really helping prioritizing that. When I think about well-being, and I want to make this clear, whether it's with work-life balance, whether it's with the mental health support, it still looks different between George, Ryan, Sarah, and Shirley. Everything looks different. Work-life rhythm, as we said, instead of balance, looks different for a lot of people. So making sure we as leaders on the employer side, we take that in consideration when we create strategies and initiatives that says, hey, we care for our people's mental health. We care for their well-being. Don't create it with your budget in mind or create it that fits your business purpose, profit. Create it for your people's purpose.
Yeah.
Right. Not for your business profit. It's for people purpose. What does work-life balance look like? Not for the company, but for our people. And in order to get that, it takes that conversation then to say with our team and our people, what does it look like? And so it's not something that you're handing down. It's something that you're creating together to create those initiatives, to be able to provide the proper resources then on top of the mental health support, providing the resources needed to then build upon that, to really invest in those training programs, whether it's, well-being or development within that person. Having that conversation, to me, this is the fight that I fight for the people. have a conversation with your frontline people and not just allow the high ups to create what it's going to look like. Take that conversation, take that budget and say, this is what's best for our people, not what's best for business. When it comes to mental health and when it comes to development, it's not what's best for business, it's what's best for our people. I think there's a different kind of conversation that has to be had when it comes to investing. That's my little rant on that.
Yeah. And I think before we move into this short segment and then the third point that we're talking about today, but I think also, like, you know, we bring it up quite a bit, but regular check-ins and just ensuring that
100%.
people are receiving consistent communication, consistent connection, that's something that is expected in the workplace. You know, when you define what a purpose-driven culture looks like, one of the components that you'll notice observably is within a purpose-driven culture, check-ins are happening. If check-ins aren't happening and regularly happening and clear communication and consistent communication and expectations aren't clearly being shared and people aren't given the opportunity to say, this is an issue that I'm having, right? Without feeling like they're going to be punished, or this is what, you know, people don't have the opportunity to give feedback in terms of being able to share what's going on in their experience, you know, at work without feeling like they're going to get in trouble for it.
Right.
Those consistent check-ins with employees where we're giving each other a perspective of where the other person is, because to your point, if we just have leaders at the top of this pyramid making decisions and it just cascades down to everybody, that's not a purpose-driven culture. You know, it's just not. So I wanted to take a break. This is a segment. This is going to be a Come On Man brought to you by Culture of Good. As always, we're always excited about the Culture of Good and what we're offering with the 2-day certification happening February 27th and 28th. If we have people sign up, we will have it. So we need you to get online at cultureofgood.com. But this is a Come On Man. This is going to be for those doing interviews. All right. All you interviewees out there.
Recruiters.
Yes.
TA.
All right. Here's the Come On Man. All right. So here's a couple of them. This one's called The Wizarding World of Interviews. Maria Oper, the lead writer at resource discovery platform EarthWeb, has assisted countless brands in the talent search. She's learned that some applicants will go above and beyond to stand out. An applicant, she said, arrived dressed as a wizard. Yes, a wand-wielding, robe-donning wizard, says Maria. Or Mariah. Is it Mariah? Mariah. We'll say Mariah. Why a wizard? He wanted to cast a spell on the interviewers. While many may argue that it's essential to stand out, it's equally essential to gauge the room. This may have worked for a role in a theater group, but for a corporate position, not so much. We're all for standing out, but when it comes to a job interview, it's probably better to save the costumes at your office Halloween party. So I don't know if anybody's interviewed someone who dressed up as a wizard, but here's another one. Things got weird when Sarah Jameson, marketing director of construction consulting company Green Building Elements, interviewed an applicant who showed up as a potato. I know.
I was thinking, like,
I know what you're thinking.
I'm
thinking
like Mr. Potato Head. Like, did they bring eyes and lips and ears and legs? Like, or is he just a potato? Is he an Idaho potato? Is he a?
Initially, everything seemed fine. The applicant aced his talent assessment, cranked out a killer sample article, and seemed to be a good fit. But when it came to the Zoom interview, things got bizarre. As soon as the interview started, I was flabbergasted to see him as a potato. While I was amused at first, it was certainly a unique first impression. It quickly became distracting, Sarah explains. When I tried to ask him to remove the filter, he declined, saying that he did not want to be seen. This struck me as odd, especially considering that he was a potato on his computer. But upon looking at it again, it was very blurry. When Sarah asked the candidate to remove the filter a second time, he refused again. His reasoning, since the job would be fully remote, seeing his face just wasn't necessary.
You know, there's some agreement there.
I know. I doubt. Do you really need to see? But do you want to think of your employee as being a potato? So that's a come on, man.
No, I'm thinking. I gotta think this through. I've always been a type for any type of if it's a video meeting, you put your camera on.
Yeah.
Anything else is a sign of disrespect, unless you're driving or you have bad reception.
Yeah. What about bad hair?
I don't care. Put a hat on.
Yes.
I want to see your face because, especially during the pandemic and even post, I just want to know that I have you have my attention and I have yours.
Yeah.
If you're just otherwise, I would say just get on a phone call.
Like you're driving or ill,
or no, if you're driving or if you're ill, I don't want you showing up for it. I don't care how mandatory it is. Like if you're not feeling good, legitimately,
yeah,
take care of yourself. That's mental health and well-being, right?
Yeah.
Don't always feel like I got to be there because I have to because my boss said I had. No, take care of yourself physically. Otherwise, it's going to be more than a physical ailment, right? Yeah. And so,
or if it's like
you got to be there,
mental health day or something like that.
Yeah, understandable. Like if you got a bad reception, traveling and you're connecting, whatever, or if you're driving.
What if you were really a potato? What if that wasn't a filter?
If you identified as a potato?
No. What if you really were a potato?
I would have problems with that, Ryan. I don't think that's. I don't.
You're like, why are you?
I don't think that.
That's not even hypothetical, is it? Well, I'm just saying, what if the guy was a potato and he's like
is he a puppeteer type person? And there's a potato that he's talking as the potato. He's the voice. Hey, this is George, the voice of the potato. No, let's get past it. Let's move on.
All right,
because we can go down this rabbit hole and make
for the next hour. But let's get to number 3. So
HR is like a potato.
Yes. How is that?
Well, that's the segment coming up. I got some things that we'll talk about. We'll talk about that coming in March. Segment. HR is like a potato.
All right, I got you.
It can be hard. It can be soft.
All right. Number 1
or bold.
Cultivate a purpose-driven culture. Number 2, invest in employees' well-being and development. Number 3, create a cause to galvanize the employees.
Yeah.
This is defining that compelling cause, right? So we talked about the vision. How is the vision lived out? When we have a cause, we have what's called a cause statement.
Yeah.
So it's a statement that's really a mission statement in a sense, but it speaks to the purpose of your business and the passion of the impact.
Yeah. So let's rewind a little bit. We talked about the purpose and the cause. How does those two connect?
Yeah.
I want to make sure people understand and follow us, because when we talk about creating this cause and you're saying a call statement, I want them to understand what that looks like from their perspective as well.
Yeah. So a cause statement, when you talk about cause, you're talking about a livable, actionable purpose.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So when I ask you, George, what is your cause? It's going to speak to how you want to make an impact,
right?
Where you find purpose and fulfillment in making a difference.
Mm-hmm.
So that could be, your cause could be mentorship.
Yeah.
Right. Now how that's lived out looks different for you as someone else who's a mentor, in the same way with business. So within business, you have a cause or a purpose or something that you're compelled to do to make a difference and an impact.
Yeah.
That's what a cause is. With a cause statement, the cause statement really does connect the purpose to the business, because the cause statement or how people speak about the cause, it is a language that every culture is defined by. So when you think about culture, every culture has a certain vocabulary. They have certain things that are, so when we talk about 5 promises in this building, it's part of our culture.
Yeah.
People know it, they see it, they sense it, they feel it. It's a part of meetings. It's a part of vision casting. It's a part of workshops. It's a part of calls, weekly check-ins and huddles. Like it's just kind of baked into all of that. And I think when we have a cause statement, it's a collective way for everyone to find purpose together. So your purpose might be mentorship. My purpose might be animal care, right? Animal adoption, right? So we have two different causes individually, but as a team, when we're working together, we might say, all right, you care about mentorship, I care about animals, but what can we care about together? If we're a team, just you and me, what can we go out and do together that we're passionate about together?
Yeah.
So now all of a sudden we're talking about a together kind of purpose. That's a purpose-driven culture. And then we start saying, well, what if we took our 100 employees or 10 or 1,000 employees or 10,000 employees? And what if we collectively said, well, that's your cause and this is my cause. This is our cause as a team. What is our cause as a business collectively? What good can we do together? Now, all of a sudden, we have a collective purpose that's driving 10,000 people to do something together.
Yeah.
And we're tying that to our work experience. We're tying that to our managers and our leaders, our bosses and supervisors, because they're a part of that as well. Yeah. Right. So, I'm kind of going on this, but to your question, it's like how we do this is we galvanize employees by starting on an individual basis saying, what is your passion? Mm-hmm. What do you care about? Why do you care about it? And then as a team, we ask the same thing. What do we care about? And as a business, what do we care about? And how does it align with our business and our vision and our values? And how does it drive the success, productivity, fulfillment of everybody?
Yeah. So as you're talking about that, you said a key word. When I think about creating this cause and all the things that we've discussed today, I hear, how do we inspire?
Yeah.
How do we inspire and then connect that inspiration to passion?
Mm-hmm.
Right? How do we then take that passion that stirs up inside that person to then be committed? Right? Because it's one thing to be inspired and passionate about something. It's another thing to be committed to it. Right? I'm inspired to have 1,000 pair of shoes. Like, that's my inspiration. I have 1,000 pair of shoes. That would be my inspiration. I'm passionate about certain types of shoes, but am I committed to be able to do that lifestyle? What does it take to get 1,000 shoes, right?
Yeah.
You got to have the finances in that sense. You got to have the right connections.
Yeah.
You got to know if those shoes are authentic or not authentic.
Yeah.
Right. Otherwise, you got 1,000 pairs of what ifs.
Right.
Right. So the impact that you're trying to make, the impact that I'm trying to be committed to, you're saying create that cause. Now, in the workplace, we will say, our cause and what we want to do within our community. How do we want to impact our community?
Yeah.
How are you inspired to impact it? What are things that you're passionate about that we can connect to our community, right? Because we have clients and customers, and we want to also hit our community with good.
I want to say something with what you're talking about.
Okay.
Causes don't inspire people. Leaders with a cause do.
Okay.
So you can have the most inspirational statement in the world, but if you don't have a leader that's inspired, you won't have people that are. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, when we saw the difference at TCC was when the leadership got inspired. Yeah. When the leadership got passionate.
They know it's real.
Yeah. All of a sudden it was like, oh shoot.
Yeah.
Now I got something to be a part of.
Yeah.
People don't join statements.
Yeah. They join movements.
Yeah.
Something
and they join leaders.
People are moving forward.
Yeah. It's not, we can be inspired by a cause, but what you're talking about, committed, that's different. That's it. That's what I was going for. Causes can inspire people, but leaders commit people.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good, man.
Commitment comes through that connection.
It really does.
We're not just doing this as employees.
It's authentic. It's real.
It's not just the employees doing a job so the company gets the award. We're together.
That's a whole thing.
But it's truth, man. Is like that people have these volunteers
to work for that.
They got all these volunteers, but the CEO's not putting the hammer to the nail or passing out the bag. We're saying a true cause
includes everybody. Absolutely.
I see our CEO getting his hands dirty or her hands dirty, that's supporting the actual community. They're part of the community as well. It's not just the employees doing the work, so you can have your recognition. You're saying, no, this is what we're truly doing.
Yeah,
we're
and
truly doing
that's something that comes up though as we're talking to people is like, can I obligate people to this? Yeah, you can obligate people to all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
We obligate people to all kinds of things.
Yeah.
Yes, we should feel obligated to the cause. We should feel obligated to the purpose. We should feel obligated to show up and volunteer. Gone are the days of the volunteer sign up list where you have 20 people out of 100 sign up to volunteer and 7 of them show up.
Yeah.
Like now is the time for companies and leaders within these organizations to realize that that purpose-driven culture includes everybody collectively. But to get that commitment, we've got to connect through leadership. We have to be passionate and inspired and excited about this stuff ourselves, man.
Yeah.
Because if not, it's just another program. It's just another volunteer opportunity, and it's all surface level.
Yeah.
We get down to the soul stuff. It's like that's the stuff that makes a profound impact. And back to the first point, it leads to driving the business.
Yeah.
It's profitable.
Yeah.
Like if you want profitable business and you want retention, high retention, and you want people with well-being, then mix leadership, culture, and purpose together.
Yeah. Let them bring their soul to work, right?
Yeah.
Let the light strike on. When I think about this, I think about the outcomes of this, and you're mentioning some of those outcomes. But I think about it in our sense in Round Room. We see it at TCC. The team there does a great job from top to bottom with incorporating these cause statements with the company's branding and communication. And even highlighting things. I think how you keep employees motivated. We're talking 10 years of culture of good established in organizations right now that's still going on. And we got some that are, still a year in, or they're under a year. They're about to get to their year. And we got some that's been 10 years just driving the business in this way by allowing their employees to bring their soul to work, by allowing them to really have that cause, that purpose connected with doing good. And the ones that are really doing great, we have Wiley Metal and Marion. A shout out to Wiley and that team, very dear to our hearts. And one of the things that I think that he's doing really well, and they've been bringing us back for workshops, we're coming again, is really celebrating those success.
Yeah.
I remember, a month ago when we went up there, had the opportunity to go up there and just kind of walk around with him. We met with him for a good 45 minutes and whatever, saw how the business works and who touched, saw the whole strategy behind the business.
Yeah.
And then saw the strategy behind how he went back and implemented the culture good into his business.
Yeah.
And then being able to walk around on the grounds in their 4 or 5 different plants that they have there on site there, being able to walk in each one of those and seeing Mike talking to us, but seeing the work being done, seeing the board there updated live, truly giving that inspiration where it's both visible to the employees, but also it's been communicated.
Yeah.
And it's not just Mike. He's not championing that by himself where he has to be Superman with this cape on, man. They have a culture team established.
That's what the 2-day certification
and that's what's
does.
great about it.
Yeah. The 2-day certification, we'll kind of end with this idea is we talked about in that third point, invest.
Yeah.
Right. That's what we're talking about. The investment of coming to Fishers, Indiana, right outside of Indianapolis, spending 2 days with us, workshopping this out. Or if you're not able to make the 27th to 28th, you can bring us into the company.
Yeah.
I personally love that component of it too, where we can get maybe 10 or 12 key leaders together, different layers of leadership that have a heart for people, a heart for culture, a heart for leadership and purpose and all of this, and workshop it out over 4 hours. Just give us 4 hours with a team and see what comes out of it. It's so powerful,
right.
But the February 27th to 28th, getting more information about that on cultureofgood.com is a good first step to saying, how do I invest in knowing what our cause is, knowing how to galvanize employees around that cause, and how to inspire other leaders to be a part of contributing toward that meaningfully long term.
Right.
Because culture takes a while.
Yeah.
And it's worthwhile work. And so that's why we show up every week.
Yeah.
We don't do it for the frills. That's for sure.
Yeah. Although there's some to come. But yeah, it's really, I like to say, and I'll end it on this, is fostering that sense of pride as an employee, being on both sides, being on the side where I get to help implement it, but also being in a culture where leadership is fostering it, having that sense of pride. And we always say employees can't take ownership of the business, but they can take ownership of the culture.
Yeah. And they do that.
And they do through purpose. And when you align, those three things that we talked about today, to be able to drive the business in a meaningful way, creating that perfect-ish purpose-driven culture.
Yeah.
Right. Aligning with making sure that they understand that you care about them, for them, and about them. Providing that development, providing well-being, and mental health. But then I think one of the incredible pieces to that is really creating that cause. Yeah. And creating a cause statement, and making sure that externally and internally it's something that they know it's true. It's true on the inside of this business, and it's true on the outside. We're not just going to say it, but we fulfill it through our community. And like Ryan said, if you want to know more, you can check out the link right below us here to learn more about cultureofgood.com, to learn more about the 2-day certification. As Ryan said, we have one coming up here in Indy for all those who are local, or if you want to travel, we got some nice hotels. Be a great time, right? Post All-Star, maybe catch a Pacer game if you're in town for a couple of extra days. But if you want to be a part of that 2-day certification coming up February 27th, 28th, you can find out more again at cultureofgood.com, or you can give us an email.
Yeah, you always do that.
PM us on LinkedIn,
People
Facebook,
still
Instagram.
Email each other.
Sometimes.
I'm kidding.
Sometimes.
Yeah, it's like it's gonna go away like the business card. I think.
Yeah.
Anyway, all right. Hey, we love y'all. Hope you're doing well, and we'll see you back next week on Champion Your Culture. Thank you for tuning in to Champion Your Culture. We hope today's episode has sparked new ideas and inspiration for your journey in leadership and cultural development.
Building a culture good is a collective effort. If you found value in conversations today, please subscribe to our podcast. Follow us on your favorite platform and share this episode with your friends and colleagues.
Your support helps us reach more people and spread the message of impactful leadership and positive cultural change. Don't forget to visit cultureofgood.com to explore how you can become a certified culture champion.
Every week, we're here to bring you insights and strategies that matter. So join us again for more empowering discussions. Let's continue to champion a culture of purpose and passion together.
Until next time, keep leading with heart, and let's make a positive difference in the world. And we'll see you next week on Champion Your Culture.